All right, let's talk about steps. For years, we've all heard that magic number, right? 10,000. It's been drilled into our heads. But have you ever stopped to ask, where did that number even come from? And more importantly, what does the actual science say about it today? Well, that's what we're going to break down right now. Let's get into it.
Okay, so let's just get right to the heart of it. That 10,000 step goal that your watch or your phone is constantly reminding you about, is it a legit scientific benchmark or is it just a marketing myth? I'm telling you, the answer is probably not what you think, and it's definitely going to change how you look at your daily walk.
So to really understand what's going on, we've got to pull back the curtain on this myth. And to do that, we need to hop in a time machine and see where this whole 10,000 step thing got started. The origin story is, well, it's not very scientific. Let's just say that.
Get this, the 10,000 step rule, it wasn't cooked up in some fancy research lab. Nope, it all started back in the 1960s in Japan. A company was launching a new pedometer, and they called it the Manpo K. And that name literally translates to 10,000 step meter. It was just a catchy marketing slogan. That's it, not a medical recommendation. And somehow, that catchy name became this global health standard that we all live by today. Kinda crazy, right?
Okay, but here's the really good news. Science has come a long, long way since that old marketing campaign. And what researchers have found is actually way more powerful, and frankly, a lot more encouraging. It turns out the real magic isn't about chasing some random high number. It's all about the simple act of just starting.
So to really get a grip on this, we need to know our starting line. And for millions of us, that's what's called a sedentary lifestyle. Basically, that means walking fewer than 5,000 steps a day. For a lot of people, it's even lower, maybe like 2,000. Just keep that number in your head, because moving away from that number is where the biggest, most amazing health changes actually happen. And here's the key takeaway, the most important part of this whole thing. The biggest health leap you can possibly make is just going from sedentary to even moderately active. The benefits are totally front-loaded. Think about it like this. You get this massive return on your investment for those first few thousand steps. It's the biggest bang for your buck, by far.
So if 10,000 is just a myth, then what's the real number? Is there a new magic number we should be aiming for? Well, yeah, there kinda is. The research is pointing to this really powerful, evidence-backed milestone. And the best part? It's way more achievable for most of us. That number is 7,000.
And let me tell you, hitting that 7,000 step mark, it's an absolute game changer. We're talking about scientifically proven incredible benefits, like a nearly 50% lower risk of dying from any cause, a 38% drop in the risk of dementia, huge reductions in your risk for heart disease, depression, and type 2 diabetes. I mean, when you're talking about just living a longer life, 7,000 steps is basically just as good as 10,000. That's huge.
And this brings us to a really interesting idea from science, the law of diminishing returns. You've probably heard of it. When it comes to longevity, yeah, more steps are better, but only up to a certain point. After that, you're still getting benefits, but they start to level off. You hit a plateau. You can picture it like this. That first leap, from doing very little to hitting around 7,000 steps, that's a massive jump in health benefits, just huge. Then the next jump from 7,000 up to 10,000, yeah, it's still good for you, but the benefit is noticeably smaller. And then what about going past 10,000? Well, the extra bonus for living longer gets pretty tiny. Like we said, your biggest bang for your buck is right there at the beginning.
And what's really fascinating is that this sweet spot isn't the same for everyone. It actually changes as you get older. So for adults over 60, those big longevity benefits really start to plateau somewhere between 6,000 and 8,000 steps. If you're younger than 60, it's a little higher, more like 8,000 to 10,000. So the big message here is that your goal shouldn't be some random number. It should be personalized to you.
Okay, so you might be thinking, does this mean there's no reason to walk more than, say, 8,000 steps? No, not at all. It just means that once you push past that longevity benchmark, you start working towards a whole new set of goals. You start unlocking different benefits that are more about things like your overall fitness and metabolic health.
Here's a perfect real-world example of this. There was this famous study on Scottish postal workers, and what they found was that the mail carriers who were walking at least 15,000 steps a day, they tended to have normal body mass indices and a super low risk of heart disease. So you see, if you have a specific goal, like managing your weight or really dialing in your metabolic health, then pushing for those higher step counts can be incredibly effective.
Now, there's one more piece to this puzzle we need to talk about, and it's super important. It's the difference between volume and intensity. So volume is just how many steps you take.
That's the main thing that helps reduce your overall risk of mortality. But intensity, that's how fast you walk. That adds a whole extra layer of goodness, especially for your heart. If you can pick up the pace and get over about 105 steps a minute, you're giving your cardiovascular system a fantastic extra boost.
All right, so we've busted the myth, we've looked at the real science. Now it's time for the most important part. How do you take all this information and actually use it? How do you create a personal step goal that actually works for you?
It's actually pretty simple. Here's a 3-step plan. First, just start small. Seriously, if you're not moving much right now, just adding 500 or 1,000 steps to your day is a massive win. Remember, the biggest gains are right at the beginning. Second, set a goal that's tailored to you. Maybe that's aiming for 7,000 steps for overall longevity, or maybe it's 12,000 plus if you've got specific fitness goals. And third, once you're hitting your step count pretty consistently, start playing with intensity. Throw in a few short bursts of brisk walking. It'll do wonders for your heart.
And you know, this really is the core idea I want you to walk away with. It's time to forget about chasing one single perfect number. The real focus should be on the tangible, proven value of every single step you take, especially those first few thousand that gets you off the couch. This isn't about perfection. It's all about progress. So, I'll leave you with this to think about. Now that you know that every step forward truly counts, what's the one small, simple change you can make to your routine starting today? Thanks for tuning in.